Hey everyone, I am at Dry Lake, which is probably the wettest dry lake that you will find around here. It's actually dry later in the season usually, but late spring, early summer, it's a good time to come when all the snow melt is in here and there's actually water here. It's a beautiful hike. It takes a South Fork trail here in the San Gorgonio area, and you're kind of in the shadow of the high mountains. Still some snow up there. And it's around 11, 12 miles out and back. It's a mountain climb, but it's not a killer climb. You have a lot of distance to cover it, the elevation. Now, if you want to do this hike, please go to HikingGuy.com, where I have a companion article that has the maps and parking and just some tips on doing the hike. But otherwise, let me show you the turn-by-turn directions to get here. It's just me and those ducks over there right now. Pretty cool.
So the hike starts at the South Fork Trailhead, which is off of Jenks Lake Road. And it's a big parking lot. I have parking directions and permit and parking pass information on the website. But you're going to go straight through here, past these bathrooms, cross Jenks Lake Road once again, and head up to the trailhead, which you can see right here. Now there's two signs here about fire damage and permits. You might or might not need a permit, and you might or might not be affected by the fire damage, so go to the website to figure that all out. But otherwise, we're going to keep going straight and go uphill. Now right away there's a little detour here because some of the trail was washed out. After the fires, there's been a lot of erosion, so keep an eye out for little detours. But you're going to go down here, cross the South Fork Creek, and then head up, and you can see the trail going up there. And once you go through there, you're going to go steadily uphill through all of this area. Now this is all, you can see, damaged by the lake fire in 2015. There are some downed trees, but the Forest Service does actively maintain this trail, so you can see the trail's in pretty good condition. And if there are logs, you just kind of go around them, and there's little paths for that. We're going to continue to head uphill here. There's Sugarloaf Mountain in the distance, and the first section is uphill. The first mile or so is uphill. Then you're going to get a breather in a little bit. We're going to continue going up, and you can see the trail is good condition. There's some kind of wide switchbacks as you wind your way up the side of the mountain here, up towards Horse Meadows, which is kind of the next landmark, and it's right there on the left. You can see those cabins. That's Horse Meadows. You can go explore to the left if you want, but the trail to Dry Lake is straight. Now, Horse Meadows used to be a ranger outpost back before the 1950s when cars could get up here. And they used to graze their horses here in the meadow. And you can go visit it. If there's bad weather, you can go inside and take refuge in there too. But otherwise, keep on going straight here. And once you get past Horse Meadows, you're going to cross a dirt road. Before they made this a wilderness area, you could drive your car up to here, but no more because of the wilderness area designation. And you're going to go straight through here. You can see it's well marked. Keep going up here. Now this is the section that I mentioned was kind of flat. You can see it's a little bit uphill. It's going to feel a little more flat than your first part of the hike. You can see there's some mud here. There's a lot of the streams will come down here. There'll be some muddy sections. So if you have boots with Gore-Tex, this is a good place to wear them. And you're going to keep going straight until we get to this intersection. And this is Poop Out Hill on the left. It's called Poop Out Hill because it's the first place you can see San Gorgonio. You can also hike to San Gorgonio from this trailhead. And when people used to attempt that, they'd get here to this hill, they'd see how far San Gorgonio was, and they would poop out of the hike. It has nothing to do with bathrooms. It's a more of a metaphorical poop out. When you get up to the end of Poop Out, it's only about 5 minutes here, but you can see these little stone benches. This is what's left of an interpretive display that burnt down in the 2015 lake fire. But what's cool is you have this wilderness sign here, and you have San Gorgonio in the distance, so it's a pretty cool photo. Definitely worth the couple minutes hike. Check it out, then head back to the trail, and then you're going to come to this other San Gorgonio wilderness sign, and you're going to start on this section, which is kind of like the middle section. On paper, it's uphill, but there are some little downhills and flat sections. It's going to feel a lot easier than the first part of the hike. And right here, after hiking for a while, you're going to see the Lost Creek Trail over there to the left. That's a small trail. It's not actively maintained, not as much as this trail, South Fork. We're just going to go straight here. And you can see that it's going to start to get a little bit of an uphill. The trail's a little bit rockier in this section. And then a little bit after that intersection, you're going to start going uphill again until you get to Dry Lake, which is probably about 2/3 of the way in at this point. Now the next intersection is important. There's going to be a split. You're going to go to the left to go to Dry Lake. Dollar Lake and the South Fork Trail continue up to the right, but we're not going to do that. We're going to head left here, and you can see there's a trail sign. And we're just going to go straight. You're going to cross a couple of streams in this section, so again, having waterproof boots is a good idea. But none of the streams are that crazy usually, and there's always a way to kind of hop across on the rocks. Having trekking poles will help here as well, and I have gear recommendations on the website. You can see the nice little South Fork Creek spilling down here, which eventually goes out to the Pacific Ocean in Huntington Beach. And after the last stream, the trail kind of counterintuitively goes to the left, and you're going to start a series of switchbacks. And the trail is much easier here. It's less rocky for this next section as you do some climbing. It's not killer climbing, but you'll definitely feel it as you go up here. You're also at altitude. You'll start to get glimpses of San Gorgonio and the high peaks, Jepson in the distance as you head up here. And eventually you're going to go kind of at the end of the valley here and kind of rejoin the stream bed, which is dry here, and it's all rocky. And you can see in the distance where that blue is, that's Dry Lake, and we're going to come out there after a little bit, and it's going to feel like an oasis. And there's a trail around the lake, and we're going to go counterclockwise here. I'll show you a little bit of it, but here's the lake. Now, the lake is dry, like I mentioned earlier, towards the end of the season, and right now it has some water in it, so it's nice. And you can camp here as well, and I have all the camping information on the website, and the campsites are around the lake. It is popular. Weekdays are obviously much better. So once you've soaked in the lake, let's hike around it. And you can see the path on this part is pretty easy to follow. And the views are stunning, especially when you come around here. You'll be able to see all of the high peaks in the distance, and if they have snow on them, it feels like you're in the Alps or something. You continue to go around, and after a little bit, you're going to see this sign that has sort of a map of the different places where you can camp and not camp. And there are signs for no camping along this hike too, so please respect that as you choose a spot here. I'm going to continue to go around, and there's going to be the turnoff to Lodgepole to the left. But basically to get back to where we started and continue down the hike, we're going to hike just around the lake. And it's a bit of a choose your own adventure at this part. There's a lot of used trails crisscross, but just kind of make your way around the lake. Don't look for a well-defined trail until you come back around almost to the ends. This passes beachy area. You're going to see the trail. The trail starts again and goes along the lakefront. We're basically going to walk back to the beginning of that loop. And then once you go through there, you just hike back down the way you came up and enjoy the downhill. Here's the beginning of that.
So that's it, Dry Lake. It is a beautiful, beautiful hike. I definitely recommend doing it. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, I have a link to the full article right underneath the video, so make sure you check that out. And if you want to say thank you, an easy way is just to click that little thumbs up button. That will help other people find the video, hopefully do the hike safely. Any questions, just leave them in the YouTube comments, and I am pretty good at answering those eventually, if not immediately. Anyway, Dry Lake, have fun. It's a beautiful, beautiful hike. Definitely give it a try.